What's up, guys, and welcome to the Paper Jacket Podcast. Today we have our CEO, Joshua Hayes, joining us to talk about a new company, a new brand that we've launched with our brothers and sisters of companies called the 𝗊 Agency. It is an advertising agency that is going to jumpstart your marketing strategy, your marketing results. We are very excited to talk about it. Let's get into it. What's up, Josh? Welcome to the Paper Jacket Podcast, which you are technically the CEO of.
Welcome back. Actually.
Yeah, that's true.
But with a different hat or shirt, I guess.
In studio.
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Exciting. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, again, for the audiences maybe just coming in, you are the CEO of Paper Jacket.
Yes.
You are the CEO of New York Ave.
Confirmed.
You are the CEO of Indrid West.
Yes.
These are all brands that we've had a conversation about and
Yes.
with. But have we had a conversation about 𝗊?
It's like, I just have this picture of a guy with a big trench coat, and he's like, do you want these watches or do you want these watches? Which company do you want?
They're all marketing companies.
They are, yeah. It is. So I always joke with people, it sounds way cooler than it really is. I mean, it is cool, right? We've separated our brands to not only continue to work well together, but to build off of the strength of each brand and to narrow the focus for the clients. Mm-hmm. So Paper Jacket's video and podcasting, New York Ave is full service marketing agency, Indrid West is a consultancy. So each one has a very specific need that we're meeting.
Yeah.
𝗊 Agency, which we quietly launched last year, is an ad agency, but a very unique, very special ad agency. We had to build a business that would do advertising on our terms, that would leverage the best of what we do across our brands and genuinely generate good results for clients, because there are a lot of really bad ad agencies.
What would you say is marks, before we get into like what 𝗊 is, first of all, what marks a bad agency? What did you not want to become?
So I think our legacy clients across all of our brands will be shocked that I'm saying we have an ad agency, because for years, decades, I've been saying we're in marketing, we're not in advertising.
Help the audience understand the difference between the two.
Simplest way to put it is marketing is about curating and nurturing an existing audience, building their confidence, and ultimately keeping the customers longer and increasing the likelihood of referral or discoverability from an organic standpoint. That's marketing.
Keeping your brand at top of mind for your clients.
Keeping your brand top of mind. Advertising is for reaching entirely new audiences, and for continuing to stay in front of them throughout their entire complicated customer journey. And so we spent decades literally teaching clients that we do marketing, not advertising.
And why would you want to do marketing and not from that explainer alone, it seems like you would say, well, all I care about is advertising. I don't care about marketing. Marketing seems like a waste of money in that situation. All I care about is bringing in new people. Why is marketing important in that situation? So
I would say that if you go far enough back, my marketing related history was in B2B and retention marketing, so customer retention. So my skill set is rooted in customer retention, in marketing oriented initiatives. But by choice as well, I really love the work that goes into longer term consistent efforts. Advertising is beautiful in its own right. There's a big splash, right? Lots of money, lots of creative, lots of energy, throw it all out there and see what happens. And there's a lot of energy and excitement that comes from that kind of work, but it's not sustainable. It's often exhausting. Marketing is about a snowball approach, right? You start small, you build it, you roll the snowball, it grows. And so I like the work that happens over longer spans of time. But if I were to break it all down, I would say simply, it's about sustainability. Advertising, even at its best, it stops when you stop paying the money. When you stop feeding whoever the company is that those ad dollars are going to. And by the way, ad dollars at 𝗊 Agency, they go through us to Meta or YouTube. When you stop paying, those ads go away. They cease to exist. And the audience is dead, right? With marketing, it's building a longer term sustainable approach. So I always preferred that. Now, the reason why All Agency exists and why we built it is there are a lot of bad actors in the ad agency space. So to your point, what makes for a bad advertising agency, it's an agency that is still looking at the short-term gains. And in the marketing world, the same thing exists, like especially from an SEO perspective, short-term gains. They can sell the client, lock them in for a year, and churn and burn volume. That's not the way we work. Ad agencies are very similar, but even shorter term. Most bad actors in the ad agency space for small to mid-sized businesses are looking at collecting ad dollars and ad management fees, and they're looking at selling lower quality content that is going to do a subpar job for a shorter period of time, but they've locked the client in for long enough to make money on the tail end of it, right? It's not a good place to play, and I have intentionally avoided it for so long.
Yeah. I would also argue to say that the bad apples often have a strategy that makes you pay a lot up front, and they kind of give you a lot of promises up front. They're probably the most promising of all the marketing companies out there. Like, we guarantee you'll get this many leads or blah, blah, blah. And you don't even know what those leads are.
No, in our world, anyone guaranteeing anything is full of shit. Absolutely full of shit.
Or it's again, I could find leads for you, but they're not the leads you want. It's just congratulations.
These are
like
not the
emails.
droids you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, it's not real.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we started All Agency, despite all of that, almost passive aggressively, and that's why my shirt and the All Agency website says "fine," and it's because still, with all of the teaching and educating that we've done for well over a decade, clients still want to draw in new customers. Shocker, right?
And they want it faster.
They want it faster.
Quicker. Yeah.
But often they don't want that to come at the cost of compromising on their messaging and their retention strategies and their referral strategies. So that it's difficult, though, for the average business to be able to financially afford marketing and advertising at the same time, because they are larger expenses and they are very complicated, and that's what makes them more expensive. So managing both was difficult. And often when having discussions with clients, we would say, you need the marketing. And it's not just because that's what we did. It's because marketing is your foundation. If you look at it you like food analogies, so like a cake, right? The marketing is the cake. The advertising is the icing and sprinkles. You can't, some people would eat icing and sprinkles by itself, but you will regret it later.
Those are children.
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't eat cookie dough, raw cookie dough. No, but if you think about it that way, you need the cake before you put the icing and the sprinkles on.
Yeah.
So we always promote it, bake the cake first, and then you can think about your advertising, your sprinkles, and your icing. So All Agency, we introduced it passive aggressively because we're like, fine, okay, you want advertising, and if you're gonna do it, we're gonna do it on our terms, and we're gonna make sure that it meets the vastly different needs of today's audiences, because today's audiences are not responding to advertising the way they're used to. They're not driving down the road and see a billboard and they're like, man, I never would have thought about this before. I need this service, right? They're not flipping through yellow pages.
There's an attorney?
Oh my God.
That's going to give me money?
Yeah. They're just not. And that's, if you think about it, that's actually marketing. But advertising in the digital sense is about drawing new people into a product or service that you offer in a short amount of time to generate more business leads, right? So to do that and to do it well, you still have to, let's go back to the cake, you still have to have the foundation. And let's also go back to, it's difficult to afford both. And so for us to do advertising and for it to make sense, it had to be done in a way that we could be proud of, in a way that we knew would work, and in a way where I could sleep at night knowing I'm not selling a scam.
Well, you're not saying, I guarantee you, you're saying, I know the best recipe for success.
Recipe is a good way to put it. Exactly. And so what we did when we built this is we took a took a step back and we analyzed what not only people wanted, but where they were responding to the most often and what they were responding to. And so we looked at all of the different channels, because marketing is meant to manage your brand in a consistent way across as many channels as possible. Advertising is more like focused, right? So social media is still a primary driver of conversions, of audience building. It's not 2008 social media where you could spend $10 and get 100 leads, but it's still a driver of customer interaction, customer acquisition, and customer retention. So social media is an important part of it, and that's where a lot of advertisers stop. They create ads on Facebook and Instagram and call it a day. I would argue that that worked up until about 3 years ago. When we hit COVID or post-COVID, that really stopped working. And it wasn't COVID. There was a lot of stuff changing in the industry at the time. So we took a step back. We looked at all of this and we realized social media is the primary point of conversion. Low quality, subpar content was the reason why these conversions were dropping off and the costs were going up, and it was becoming increasingly hard to generate a return on investment. There was a lack of follow through on those conversions, meaning the lead would just book an appointment and then drop dead. So there was a lack of follow through, and ultimately there was a lack of accountability. So you had this mixture of things that just was working against the clients. And 𝗷𝗫agency was specifically built to address all of those exceptionally well.
So before I get into the fun part about the brand, let me narrow in on the product. You said we're going to do advertising, we're going to do it on our own terms. And to reiterate what you said, it was taking what we know that works for your brand on the marketing side of things, but doing it in a more aggressive fashion, like the advertising.
Yep.
And so talk about how you built that strategy and why it benefits the client ultimately, that we are taking the control to do that.
So 𝗷𝗫agency does work at a rapid pace, but in order to do that without losing the quality of product or reducing the effectiveness of what we're doing, we have to be strategic. So it was really difficult to figure out how can we still put together a quality product that is strategic in nature without stretching the timeline. And we've done that. It's proprietary, but we've done that, right? So the product is made up of a couple different things. First and foremost, strategy. So we lead with an intensive set of meetings to develop a strategy, a comprehensive strategy right in the very beginning. By the end of month one, you will have a 27+ page strategy Bible, if you will, that pretty much outlines everything about your business, your customers, your products, your services, everything. It also outlines our approach for the next 11 months. So the strategy document is the bread and butter to everything, and we knock it out quickly through intensive sessions.
It's not that we're like creating a different product for each client. We're making sure how the product that we've built fits your specific brand and messaging
Correct.
and style.
The mixture is always different, both in what we're putting out and how we're putting it out and how frequent we are. So the strategy document is not only a valuable resource for the clients, but it mostly is for us. It's to guide the work that we're going to be doing over the next 11 months.
Yep.
So after the strategy document, we do an intensive 2-day video session. And this is all hands on deck. It's unlike anything that Paper Jacket does by itself. It's unlike anything that New York Ave does. It is an intensive 2-day session where we are all hands on deck, usually a 4-man crew, all of our equipment resourced, and we are focused in on 2 days of creating content. And the reason for that is we're trying to create a year's worth of content in 2 days.
And it's not just, it's video content.
It's all video. Yeah, there's a little bit of like snapshots in between, but it's all video, 99.9% video content. That's hard to do because we're talking about 120 plus deliverables and a diversity of those deliverables that will keep an audience interested and engaged. Primary reason for doing it in 2 days is so the client doesn't have to think about it. 𝗷𝗫agency is specifically built for the client that wants to turn it on and just forget.
Yeah, because I'm sure many business owners want to sit down and discuss marketing as often as possible because that is what they truly got into business for, is just to focus on the marketing, not about the business, right? Isn't
they
that
don't
right?
want to deal with it. They don't want to deal with it, right?
exactly.
So, and there are some clients that are really actively involved and they like doing that, or it is a necessary part of their ongoing strategy, and that's cool. But for advertising, the mentality is different. So marketing mindset is, I want to invest in this and I want to continue to invest in this and I want this to be a long-term strategy for me. Advertising mindset is, I just want to just start it and leave. Like, just do it for me. Just do it, right? Get it going. I don't want to think about it. I've got a business to run. Totally fine. So the intensive 2-day session following the strategy document is specifically designed to create an enormous amount of content for a year, but not just for social media, for advertising purposes and retargeting purposes and drip campaign purposes. So we've got the strategy document, we've got this intensive 2-day session, and then we immediately began running campaigns. So in month 2, into month 2, beginning of month 3, which is an extremely fast turnaround for what we're doing.
Yeah, you got 60 days to go the entire strategy, the video production, and their first round of edits, all by the end of month 2, basically.
It's impossible, next to impossible, for the average agency to do, especially an traditional advertising agency. We're able to do it because we have Paper Jacket, New York Ave, Andrew and West, all agency, right? They all are working together. So we've got the strategy document, we've got the 2-day intensive video content strategy, content production days, and then we run campaigns. And the campaigns are timed specifically to make the most of Facebook, Instagram, YouTube's algorithms. So we warm up your audience, we retarget your audience, we draw your most engaged audience back in, and all of it is centered on not only the ads and the content that we're putting out, but on the landing pages and the email drips that we do to keep people connected throughout the journey. Because the customer journey can sometimes last months and months at a time. So we're drawing them in, we're retargeting them, so reminding them that we exist, and then we are keeping them connected and engaged through the landing pages and email drips. This is advertising 101, but the driving force here is the video and the consistency and the connectivity of it all. So we're not only just running the ads, and that's where every ad agency kind of stops, is they're like, even the ones that create the best video content, there aren't many, but they will stop at the ads, which leaves a client's social media channels empty, barren, right? And most consumers are bouncing around and popping the hood and looking under it to see what's going on. And if they see a good ad and they go to your Facebook page or your Instagram account and there's nothing there, or it's inactive, or it's a different quality content, then you immediately sow mistrust, right? Doubt, you sow doubt. So All Agency fills in the gap, unlike almost any other agency, by taking the content that we've developed from that 2-day session according to our strategy, and we post up to 8 times a month on social media, the video that we've created. So we're not only using the video that we've created for the ads and the campaigns and the messaging and the retargeting and all that stuff, we're also posting on their social media channels to make sure that we're connecting the dots for customers that are bouncing around in their decision-making journey.
Yeah, you got to have the organic along with the advertisements for sure. So to kind of summarize it a little bit, month 1, you go in, hardcore marketing strategy, content strategy for the advertisements. We just have like basically one decently long meeting at first. To just like, 1 to 2 hours maybe tops, right? To get everything in order, to understand your brand. We put our heads together and we basically say, all right, here by the end of the month, here's our whole strategy. At that point, we haven't said this yet, they can say, meh. Never mind.
Yeah, so that is one of the number one selling attributes of All Agency, is that it is a 12-month term, but you can opt out at 30 days.
We can give you the blueprint and you can say, no, I don't want to build a house.
Correct. Which, totally fine. Doesn't make sense to me, but you can. Before month 2, you can opt out and say, thanks for the strategy document, I'm good. Call us on our bluff. I don't think this is going to work, guys. And fine. Or I don't like the strategy.
Fine,
whatever it is.
Fine by us. That won't happen. So then going into month 2, we start planning your video production right away. And like
Yep.
we said, it's a 2-day production. It's not one day at the beginning of the month, one day later. It's 2 days back to back
Yep.
where we're shooting tons of diversity.
Yep.
We're talking social media skits. We're talking testimonies. We're talking review videos. We're talking custom skits that we do and help write. We're talking about interviews. We're talking about promos. We're talking about brand films. We're talking about product uses and demonstrations. Yes, we can do all of this in a 2-day span with what we've built.
Yep.
Right. So
we call it you called it a like car wash scope.
Sort of, yeah. And I got that from one of our directors, used to work in the MLB. And the way they would, if you think about during spring training and getting ready for the beginning of the season, they have tons of content with all the players.
Yep.
They've only had like a day or two to like get this from everyone, them in their uniforms, posing with the bats and stuff like that. So they call it a car wash system where the player will go in here, do this type of content, that type of content, this type of content, so on and so forth, different looks and everything like that. So we kind of got that idea from there.
Yep.
It's not 100% exactly like it, but it's sort of that model. And so it becomes nice and fun for the client. And we make it a really fun day too.
Yeah, it is.
Like when the client gets into it, they're like, oh, let's go. Like, oh man, it's already in the end of day 2. That's how they feel by the end of it. It's not exhausting for them. We put the pressure on us really because we're going. And we just like make it fun. But we then turn around and edit some stuff right away to get your advertisements out and to get some social media going. And
there's a very big difference between videos that are for advertising and videos that are for organic content.
Yeah.
Major differences.
Very much.
And that's where I think a lot of people miss the mark. A lot of agencies and a lot of clients miss the mark, is there is a massive difference between this is organic content, like stuff for our existing audience, and this is advertising content, stuff for people that don't know who we are. And that is an essential component to the 120 plus pieces of content that we're creating, is developing a mixture that's going to make sense for accommodating both ends of the spectrum.
And after the production, the client doesn't have to be involved really at all. They just sit back and see the results.
Actually, and they aren't. So part of the all agency model is you really don't do anything. You can't do anything other than say, remove that post. We are operating on autopilot. And the primary goal there is not only to reduce the time that the client has to spend on things, but to make sure this machine, and it's a machine, the machine keeps running. More often than not, the client is the wrench in the cogs of the machine, inadvertently. And I understand, because I'm, as you know, like the biggest wrench ever. I jam up the gears, right? That's the business owner's prerogative. But generally, all agency is meant to remove the variables so the machine can continue to operate and generate new business opportunities. So the client is, after that strategy document session and the video production, they're hands off. The only thing that they can do other than participate in a conversation is, I want to remove a post that you created. Totally fine. But we're working against a strategy document that they sign off on. So it's highly unlikely that anything we put out would ever be removed.
Right.
But they have that right.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, we're going. Like, there's no stopping.
So that we can keep it going and consistent and everything like that. Now, let's talk about the results.
Yep.
We did this for a Creative Floors, a retail flooring company.
Shout out to Nancy. We love you.
She was a part of our podcast just a few months ago. We did it for their 2 stores over in Orlando. I'll let you share the kind of the results, because they were a New York Ave client just doing their marketing. Yep. Who said, "Yeah, we're going to try this advertisement."
So they actually doubled down. They're arguably the perfect case study, and not everybody's going to be like this, right? Nancy values who we are and what we do, and she comes from 20 years of working with lots of different advertisers and marketers.
She's tried everything. She's tried 20 years.
She said that on the podcast. So when I said earlier that we quietly launched, it's because we wanted to get a full year under our belt with one client to work out the kinks and better understand what we are doing here and what to expect from it, right? And we are now coming up on 1 full year with Creative Floors. And if we go back far enough, Nancy spent a year or maybe 2 years building a foundation of marketing. She baked the cake with New York Ave. So we built the website, we helped reshape the brand, we developed a good organic social media posting strategy, email marketing. We had SEO, like everything was going well. And we even did some media production for it too. And we spent about a year or two baking this really awesome cake. And then she says, I'd like to put icing and sprinkles on it. And we're like, good news. We have something. Like the timing was spectacular, right? So we offered to beta test all agency with her. And she is a paid client. It was not we're doing this as a freebie. She is a paid client paying exactly the rate anyone else would pay. And so we dialed the approach to work specifically for her because she was already paying a social media ad agency. Every month that she was baking the cake with New York Ave, she was trying to get the icing and sprinkles with another agency, and it just wasn't working. I would argue part of that is because we weren't talking to each other. It's not because we
That's
didn't want
usually
to.
what is the situation, right?
Yep.
The advertisement blames your content. The content blames the advertiser. Yeah.
They're all there's the media company that's saying, oh, it's not us. You know what I mean? So everyone is talking a different language. That's why we own the companies we do, right? So we all talk and collaborate together. So she baked the cake, but the icing and sprinkles weren't working for her. And so she asked us, is there anything, like, Josh, please, is there anything you got? I love you guys. It's working. Is there anything you could do to help me here? And it was right around the time that we were finishing the concept for All Agency. And I said, well, if you want to be the guinea pig, we would love to have you as our first client and our only client for 2025 on this new company we're launching. And she said, sign me up. I already trust you. I know you. I love you guys. Like, if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, no harm, no foul, right? And we're like, okay, cool. Let's do this, right? And so she signed up for All Agency, and we executed the strategy document, which she's just like, this is great. I don't even need to think about it. Like, done, approved, right? I already love you guys. Again, that helps, right? We have the trust, we have the buy-in. But she's like, this is amazing. This is better than anything I could ever imagine. I don't have time to read this 27-page document, but I'm with you. And then you guys executed 𝗵𝗴𝗵 executed the 2-day session. 𝗵𝗴𝗵 was subcontracted by All Agency. We're subcontracting to ourselves, right? She loved it. The entire crew at both locations loved every minute of those 2 days. They're eager for the next 2 days. And they had a lot of fun doing it. It was well orchestrated, and these are not people that you would think would enjoy creating social media
I'd argue to say
content.
that some of them were like, yeah, I guess I'll do the video. And now they're like, so when is the team
When's the
coming
next
back?
one?
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Which was so cool, right?
Yeah.
They stereotypically, they don't seem like they would enjoy this product, but they loved it, right? And then we started rolling out ads. And within like 2 or 3 weeks, Nancy's like, oh my God, the ads are everywhere. And we're like, well, weren't they before? She's like, no, I never saw my own ads. And I'm like, well, there's a rule about maybe like making sure you don't pay to see your own ads.
Sure,
but generally, I would assume that means that they weren't actually advertising.
Yeah. I think a good advertiser is going to make sure that they're talking to your current audience too. And if you're part of the current audience and you're not seeing advertisements,
They probably don't exist. Or the strategy and the ad dollars are spread too thin. And truthfully, I think that was probably the case for her, is that the advertiser was spending money in like 12 different places, and that doesn't work. That's spreading way too thin, right? So we focused the ad budget in a very targeted way. And so the ads became more visible. So she was like, within 3 weeks, she's like, oh my God, I see the ads everywhere. And I'm like, great. We're canvassing. We're warming up Facebook and Instagram. We're trying to build an audience. And then a few weeks from there, she's like, oh, my crew loves the posts on social media. Our customers are laughing about the Father's Day video that you did and the 4th of July. Just everybody's so happy, right? So there was like this intrinsic, we feel positive, and our customers feel positive, and there's just a good vibe, right? And that was curated.
which is always good for a sales team.
always good for a sales team. Yeah. And they have stuff to like point to, right? So they were feeling energetic and positive. The customers were like, I saw the ad, or they usually didn't even know to call it an ad. They're just like, I saw your video on Facebook, or I saw your video on social media, whatever.
Yep.
And so there was just all this positive momentum about 6 weeks in. And then at 8 weeks, I get an email from Nancy, and I've got like a screenshot of it on my desktop because it's, again, love Nancy. But it was just like, this is the best thing I've ever done. And that alone, I think she said that on the podcast.
20 years.
She's like, in 20 years.
20 years, three retail
Yep.
stores in her history.
Yep.
Best thing.
And she's done everything.
Yeah.
Radio, TV, podcasting. She's done everything.
The newspapers.
Yellow pages, billboards,
penny
penny
what do they used to call it?
penny saver.
Penny saver.
Penny saver, yeah.
I don't think that exists.
She's done everything. Yeah. And this is the best thing I've ever done. And she followed that up by saying, almost every day, someone is coming in and saying, I saw your videos. And this is a direct result of us in the first few months canvassing their backyard where their service area is in a concentrated and consistent way. And so there is not a single person that is a part of our target audience that is actively on, or even passively on Facebook or Instagram that has not seen her ads. And that is intentional. There is no way to escape creative floors. If you're in the market for flooring and you're in Orlando, you would be lying if you saw you haven't seen an ad for creative floors.
Yeah.
So it's canvassing. It's the same principle that, like, you know how attorneys buy every billboard, every radio ad, every video, everything you can think of for like 3-month spurts, and that's all you hear about. It's the same kind of idea, but a longer term approach in a more concentrated way.
Remember what we said, 120 pieces of content. We're not giving you 120 up front. We're doing several rounds. Every 3 months, you're getting a new round of different types of content. So as the audience has been warmed up to like, I've seen this video. Now there's a new video out, and now that captures their attention more. It's a lot of diversity. And that's what helps with the advertising.
Well, that's necessary because you got to keep people engaged and interested, not only for your organic social posting, but for your advertising. So Nancy is now saying this is the best thing that's ever been done. Which awesome. Like that means it's working, right?
Yeah. And we do this for ourselves too. We use the same strategy for our own companies. And we've seen the success ourselves. So we've been our own guinea pigs. We're not like, oh, that one worked.
Thank God.
maybe it'll work for us. We do it. Yeah.
And we've done small sample sets of like a mini all, if you will, in the early days with certain clients, and those worked well too. All agency is the concentrated approach that if you need an ejection of like business now, all agency is specifically designed for you. Now, it works better if you've already baked the cake or you are actively baking the cake.
Sure.
It will work better. That's why Nancy, I think, was so successful. But if you don't have it, it does kind of lend itself to still working well because we're posting on organic.
And you get the landing page, you get the email marketing with it and stuff like that. It's not like you have to have all these things. So let's talk about the brand just for a little bit. It's a fun brand. It's an interesting brand. Yeah. So when you first told me about it, the whole like fine thing, I know it almost looks like we're sarcastic, almost maybe a little bit rude about it. I think what we're ultimately saying is like, fine. Are you ready for noise? Are you ready for us to win you advertising? We can do it.
No. It's 100% passive aggressive. It's because, so here's the story is I have spent decades educating on marketing, right? And the value of baking that cake. But I have lost a lot of business to clients that have said, I hear you. I don't want the cake. I just want the icing. And I understand. I get it. I tell businesses that if they need marketing right now, urgently need marketing, they are a year too late. But, and it won't work, right? If you need urgent marketing, then it's not going to work. You're a year too late. Advertising can work in that setting. It's not ideal that you find yourself in that setting, but I understand. And there needs to be a solution that is ethical, that works, that follows through on the promises. And so all agency is me saying, fine, like if you don't have the time, or you haven't baked your cake, but you need business now, or you feel like you've been getting screwed by other vendors and you just need something that's going to get the job done and get out of your way, I got you. And so partially passive aggressive, right? But the other part of it is it's also passive aggressive to other players in our space, that they should have been the ones stepping up. I never wanted to do advertising. They should have been the ones stepping up and executing this, but they didn't.
Yeah.
They still haven't done it. And it's because it's almost impossible to do it well.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a unique recipe, you said recipe, that is difficult to do without the moving pieces that we already have in our portfolio of brands.
I would like to kind of help conclude with this and the way I've seen form together with the way it is. A lot of times throughout marketing, I would, in marketing, we would help them get their car, right? And they're ready to travel, but they wouldn't put fuel in it.
Yep.
To me, the fuel is the advertising. That's the ad spend in a way, right? To kind of get you accelerating, get you going, to get the car moving ultimately. And buying the fuel without the car is just stupid.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it's always been. But a lot of times they would say, I'm ready to buy the fuel, but I don't have the car. Or
so we're going to,
or it's run down, right? Yeah. Or so actually, no, I would even say, I think we've built something that says, we're going to give you the car and we're going to give you the fuel in one product. After we get it going, don't forget the maintenance.
Yeah.
And to me, that's what the other layer of the marketing is, because to have a car, to maintain, marketing is buying the car and maintaining the car. The investment of the website, the investment of the first video, the investment of all those things, that's the car, but you got to maintain it. That's the frequency posting. That's the consistency to keep you at top of mind. But there's still fuel to get it going faster, to get it going more effectively, to get it reaching out more, right?
Yep.
So ultimately, the perfect marketing package is getting all with still the maintenance involved with it.
Oh yeah.
But if you're ready to just start out, we'll build you the car and the fuel at the same moment and get you going so that you have the funds, you have the business to then continually maintain it.
Again, it's an injection of growth right here, right now. It's not necessarily designed to be an ongoing multi-year thing. And so if you think about the order of events in a perfect world, it should be marketing. It should be branding, strategy, marketing, advertising. But too often we have clients come to us with, I need something now. Like I'm hurting. I need something now and I need it to be big and I need to cross all these boxes off, right? Check all these boxes. And so that's the fine, right?
We created a hybrid of it. Yeah.
We have something, we've built something. It is impossible for anyone else, next to impossible for anyone else to offer. And this is going to get you a little bit of everything right now. And the intention is a year from now, or maybe even sooner, let's start baking the cake.
Yeah.
Like, I know that we're starting with the icing and the sprinkles, but we still need to bake the cake.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, and the reason why you say next to impossible, they are buying essentially a piece of 3 different businesses.
100%. Yeah.
This isn't a business that put things together. You can't do it. It won't sustain.
Nope.
Right. So ultimately, you have the ability to do this. It's a really cool product. And if you're ready to look into possibly getting a strategy session together, seeing what that looks like, seeing what your advertising costs would be for your particular market, your particular brand, get a conversation going. Highly recommend reaching out to 𝗷.agency, AWW.agency. Check out the landing page. It's a little fun journey we take you through to show you what we're going to provide for you. But ultimately, have a conversation with Josh and see where it goes from. Josh, thanks for joining us and talking to us about 𝗷.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right.
See you guys.
See you guys later on the next Paper Jacket Podcast.